You box, right?
I box a little bit.
Who next?
It depends.
D'Angelo Russell. What was that story like? Y'all will fight each other?
No, he would never do that.
Yo, fam, gather round, because we are about to spill some serious tea on one of the most epic meltdowns in NBA history. We're talking about the Los Angeles Lakers, a squad that's supposed to be about championships, Hollywood glam, and Showtime dominance. But there was a moment, a dark chapter, where the purple and gold became synonymous with betrayal, drama, and arguably the worst locker room in the league. This ain't just ball. This is a cautionary tale about how quickly things can unravel when trust is broken, and how one wrong move can sink a whole damn ship.
Have you given any initial thought to what's going to come next and kind of your time with the Lakers since the trade happened last year, going into your option for next year?
No.
We got to rewind a bit to set the scene. The Lakers had a young core, supposedly bright future. You had D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, young bloods with potential. But even with that talent, something was off. The chemistry wasn't clicking on and off the court. There were whispers, little cracks in the foundation, but nobody really saw the earthquake coming.
I know you got a Kobe story.
When Nick and D-Lo were going through their thing, when they had an issue, and I remember D-Lo calling me, he was like, OG, I f***ed up? Yeah, you f***ed up. I said, man, you gotta call Nick.
Then came the moment that changed everything. The shot that echoed through the league and blew up the Lakers from the inside out. We're talking about the alleged recording, the snitching, the ultimate act of locker room betrayal that turned a promising group into a fractured mess.
I mean, this got interesting. They come back and forth until you got the friends here.
You feel me? We back in the building. Y'all thought we was gone. My man Jay Lane was doing his thing. Jay Hill doing his thing.
If you were plugged into the NBA gossip back then, you remember the headlines. It was everywhere. The story goes that a private conversation between D'Angelo Russell and another teammate was allegedly recorded and then somehow leaked to the public. The details of that conversation are still debated, but what isn't debated is the impact it had on the Lakers' locker room.
He's one of the guys that I've always talked to about anything, and I cherish our friendship. And for me to, have an incident like this come up and put it in jeopardy is not what I was intending to do.
Sources online claiming insider knowledge at the time, along with some sports journalists, reported that the recording captured Russell allegedly saying some things about a teammate's personal life, things that were definitely not meant for public consumption. The fallout was immediate and explosive.
I just got one more question for a guy who's going to the finals for the first time. And he's... Because look.
The locker room, which was already reportedly dealing with some internal issues, completely imploded. Trust vanished. Players reportedly started looking at each other sideways, wondering who they could talk to, who they could trust. The concept of what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room, a sacred code in sports, was shattered.
They understand there's work to be done.
The experience definitely helps. Just knowing what's ahead of you, knowing what it takes.
Multiple reports from sports news outlets detailed the icy atmosphere. Players were reportedly isolated, cliques formed, and the sense of brotherhood that's essential for a successful team dissolved into suspicion and resentment. Practices were reportedly tense, and the on-court performance suffered massively as a result. You can't win in this league if you don't trust the man next to you, and the Lakers reportedly had zero trust left.
D'Angelo, your first game in a Laker uniform back in this building. What did that feel like?
Oh, it's a little weird, definitely a little weird.
The alleged betrayer, whoever was responsible for the recording getting out, became public enemy number one in the eyes of many. Fingers of blame were pointed in all directions, and the speculation about who did it and why was intense. Social media was a wildfire, with fans and commentators dissecting every interaction between players, trying to figure out who the culprit was.
Let y'all know, I ain't going with him today.
What'd I do?
You know, man, well, what you did. I got pulled over the other day. Maybe you told the world I ain't have a license? Yeah.
The impact on D'Angelo Russell himself was significant. He was a young player still finding his footing in the league, and suddenly he was at the center of a massive scandal. His relationship with his teammates, particularly the one he was allegedly talking about, was reportedly fractured beyond repair. The narrative around him shifted from promising young star to someone who couldn't be trusted.
You know, basketball usually, I talked to Kobe once, and I remember him saying, make new headlines. Whatever your old headline is or what people think about you, make new ones. And I took pride into doing that.
Insiders at the time reportedly described the Lakers' locker room as toxic. It wasn't just about losing games. It was about the interpersonal relationships being so damaged that it affected every aspect of the team. Players reportedly didn't want to be around each other off the court. Team dinners were awkward or non-existent, and the camaraderie that defines successful teams was nowhere to be found.
Legend not to ask you, Austin, about.
See, this is why I don't like you.
I know. I'm a good reporter. What happened on that first play?
Everybody's seen what happened.
This betrayal reportedly had ripple effects throughout the entire organization. Coaches reportedly struggled to control the narrative and maintain order. The front office had to deal with the public relations nightmare and the impact on player morale. The reputation of the Lakers as a desirable destination for free agents reportedly took a hit, as players around the league saw the dysfunction and drama unfolding.
So we was chilling, I think it was San Antonio, and he was just asking me questions about my relationship and all kind of stuff, and I was, answering them.
The media coverage was relentless. Every loss was dissected, every perceived moment of tension on the bench was analysed, all through the lens of the locker room turmoil. The Lakers became a punchline, a cautionary tale of how quickly things can go wrong when the foundation of trust is destroyed.
They depended on D-Lo, and that's just you asking to lose, and you just asking to lose right there.
This whole situation also brought up questions about the culture within the NBA. With social media and constant public scrutiny, is the traditional "what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room" code still viable? Are players more susceptible to having their private lives exposed?
It happened in the moment. Did you know in the days leading up it was a possibility?
Yeah, I knew it was a process. I knew it was an opportunity. I knew it was something that could possibly be true.
Sources close to the league reportedly discussed the impact of this incident on how players interact with each other. It created a sense of paranoia and undoubtedly made players think twice about what they said and who they said it to, even in seemingly private settings. The alleged betrayal served as a chilling reminder that in the age of smartphones and instant sharing, privacy is a fragile commodity.
And y'all get on the same page. Let's have a conversation as a group tomorrow. Let's get over it. We put it out that we was going to have a team meeting right before the game. The whole team, everybody sits down, minus Cole, by the way.
The Lakers, an organization with such a rich history and legacy, were brought down by something that had nothing to do with X's and O's and everything to do with human relationships and trust. The alleged recording and its fallout reportedly poisoned the well and made it impossible for the team to succeed.
Police came to me and said, "Come on, Swaggy. I already know you ain't got a license. You gotta pay this ticket, too."
Damn!
He said, "I gotta give you something. I ain't gonna take your call, but I gotta give you something."
This period is widely considered one of the lowest points in recent Lakers history. It wasn't just about losing. It was about the loss of something intangible but essential. A sense of unity and trust within the team. The betrayal, whoever was responsible, reportedly created a divide that the team couldn't overcome.
I'm the star. I am Swaggy P. You see what I'm going in this car with?
Yes, I do. She's beautiful.
What I'm gonna do with this shouldn't be legal.
The players involved eventually moved on. Some traded away, others leaving in free agency. But the scars of that locker room drama reportedly remained. The incident became a cautionary tale, a reminder of how fragile team chemistry can be and how quickly it can be shattered by a single act of betrayal.
I was a vet. Yeah. I thought he was just picking my brain and shit. So a couple weeks later, I seen Will cooking on ESPN like everybody. Damn.
The narrative surrounding the Lakers during this time was dominated by the alleged locker room issues. Every story, every analysis seemed to come back to the lack of trust and the fractured relationships. It created a cloud over the team that was difficult to shake.
I didn't expect this. I didn't think this, so I'd be wrong. I'd be lying to tell you I did. But once we got out there, you could just tell guys liked each other, guys wanted to play for each other, and it was just contagious.
This whole saga also highlights the intense pressure that NBA players are under, both on and off the court. Their lives are constantly under scrutiny, and moments that would be private for most people can be easily exposed and amplified in the age of social media.
He's probably in the building. He's just not interested in what we got going on. And honestly, it's helping. It was a lot of tension, and it's a good moment for us. We've been having our struggles a little bit.
Right.
Sources online who followed the situation closely often pointed to this incident as a prime example of how off-court drama can directly impact on-court performance. The mental toll of playing in a dysfunctional and untrusting environment reportedly weighed heavily on the players.
Like, was y'all really, like, not passing the ball to him and stuff like that after that? Oh, yeah. Damn. yeah. Damn. How'd y'all make it look like?
The Lakers eventually rebuilt, bringing in new players and trying to create a healthier locker room culture. But for those who witnessed the implosion, the memory of that period of betrayal and dysfunction reportedly still lingers. It's a stark reminder that talent alone isn't enough to win in the NBA. You need chemistry, trust, and a sense of shared purpose.
They didn't even do nothing. They just pulled me over.
So you was going 80 miles an hour in the HO.
The alleged recording and its aftermath reportedly created an environment where none of that was possible. The betrayal reportedly killed the Lakers' season and left a lasting stain on the organization's reputation during that era. It's a story that continues to be discussed, a cautionary tale about the importance of trust and loyalty in the cutthroat world of professional sports. The details of the alleged conversation might remain murky, but the impact of the betrayal on the Lakers' locker room is crystal clear. It reportedly led to an epic meltdown.
I mean, just like getting traded anytime before that, you got to adjust. So it's just been an adjustment for me. Learning the players, learning, coaching staff, learning Brooklyn's new ways.
So what do you think? How much did that alleged betrayal really impact the Lakers? Do you believe a single incident can completely destroy a team's chemistry? And in the age of social media, is it even possible for NBA players to have truly private lives? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you want to stay updated on all the juicy details from the world of sports and celebrity gossip, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Celeb Titbits for more.